In case of any questions, we're going to have a Q&A session right towards the end. So in case of any questions, just put them in the chat. We have ladies from Kenyan Women in Germany, the group who are following this live on Facebook. You can also put your questions in there. We have Eva Maria Okot, who is going to pick up the questions from there and the questions from the chat so that Clara can be having an easy time to continue with her session. Will be picked up by Caroline Wanjiru Njoki Mwangi, Pole. Caroline, yes. I'm so glad to announce to you that finally we have one of us working as a consultant of WIDU. So KWIG managed to get somebody, and that is Clara, who is in there in the middle of WIDU. She managed to apply for both business and Corona grant and was granted. So with that, she is able to hold your hands and walk with you through. You remember we had a lady from, was it Ethiopia, Miriam, or Eritrea? Ethiopia, who we once had a session with, and she literally didn't know much about Kenya. And that really irritated us. And when we called Catherine, who is in charge of WIDU, and we told her we need a Kenyan, we have Clara, who was appointed as a consultant, now one of our KWIG members. And for those who will miss this and even have more questions, we have Njoki Mwangi, that is our Caroline, our one and only Caroline Mwangi, who can refreshen you also on this. She is also part of WIDU, and so KWIG, we are very, very lucky to have these two. And I will hand over the mic to Clara. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much. I'm very, very happy to be here. I'm also a little bit nervous, so please bear with me. So we are here for WIDU because they've been able to provide a really great opportunity for those of us in diaspora to help people back home. So I know that we have people here who are at different stages of the WIDU projects. Some of you have not heard about it, so I'll go through that as well. Some of you have gone through it and have a few frustrations or questions. So I'll also try to answer that as well. So the reasons why this WIDU initiative started are: one, there was a realization that over 1.5 billion euros is sent from Germany to Africa and mainly used for daily consumption, small expenses, and it happens regularly throughout the year. So meaning that the people back home are unable to comfortably sustain themselves. In addition, there have been cases, especially for those in diaspora, where you send money home to start off a project of some sort, and after investing so much into it, you realize that the project money was used for other purposes, right? And WIDU noticed this, or GIZ, which is the organization that WIDU is under, noticed this and decided to create WIDU. And what they have done is start an initiative in a number of African countries and European countries in order to find a better way for the Africans in diaspora to help people back home. So currently, WIDU works from the European countries of Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and France. This is on the diaspora side, to help individuals or entrepreneurs, in this case, in Ghana, Togo, Kenya, Ethiopia, and until recently Cameroon, who actually reached their quota of job creation. So the concept of WIDU is that as a diaspora member from Kenya, Ghana, Cameroon, Togo, Ethiopia, and you're living in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, or France, older than 18, and you're able to transfer money to a person back home, of course, and you want to as well support the development of businesses, startups back home, what WIDU does is, with your contribution of 25% and your family member's contribution of 25%, the entrepreneur, WIDU matches your investment into your particular project with a 50% contribution, meaning the sum of your contribution. I hope that's understandable. So that means that, for example, you can invest a minimum of 125 euros as the diaspora, as the African in diaspora, and 125 euros from the entrepreneur back home. And WIDU will match that with 250 euros for the project that you have. And that gives, so that's a minimum and a maximum of 1,250 euros, again, from the diaspora, 1,250 euros from the entrepreneur back home. And WIDU will match that with the sum of that, which is 2,500 euros as a grant. So this is a grant that they're giving, not to be paid back. Okay. So this is the first initiative that was started, which is just WIDU helping you invest and then giving you a grant. When Corona hit, they came up with a second part, which is the Corona Business Grant. And this has a slightly different requirement to it. So to get the Corona Business Grant, you are required to have a business in existence for at least 1 year. The project has to actively contribute to the response of Corona. Okay, so previously it was that it was for businesses that have been affected by Corona, but they've changed that and they now say that your project has to help in the fight against Corona, either in the prevention of Corona, in giving out information about Corona, but it needs to work towards the response of Corona based on the national initiative that's happening in your country. Okay. Yeah. Also, the project needs to benefit the community as well as the entrepreneur. And the project should be innovative and creative. So it's not just, it needs to be something slightly different from what has been done normally. And we'll talk more about that also in the questions I'm sure that you'll have. And then projects that have a technical aspect are encouraged. So if you have something that's a little bit more technical, then they are likely to fund you with a grant. So in this case, the Corona Business Grant does not require a contribution from you or from the entrepreneur. If WIDU agrees that your business proposal meets these requirements, then they will fund you with the full amount up to 2,500 euros that you ask for. So between 250 euros to 2,500 euros of the grant. Okay. As a diaspora, because the project will only begin from the diaspora side. So an African in diaspora, a Kenyan in either Germany, Switzerland, France, or Austria will register an account on the WIDU platform. That is just widu.africa, as you can see up here. And you come and you register an account. So you click on register. Of course, you agree to the requirements, terms and conditions, put in your email address and create a new account. Okay, it will take you to a page that looks similar to this. Okay, so you'll put in a password, and of course you'll have to accept it, and it needs to meet the requirements of a password. The email that you put in, your language settings, and then you have to confirm the phone number that you're given. So you have to give your phone number because they'll send you messages on the progress of the project as you go through every step. Okay, so this part is very simple. It's very straightforward. There was a bit of an issue in the last week because the number validation had stalled or something like that, but that has been fixed for the moment and confirmed that it has been fixed. So that should not be a problem. It's the first step. It's pretty straightforward. So you start from the dashboard over here, WIDU.Africa, okay? Then after that, you will choose whether you want a Corona business grant or an original WIDU grant, okay? After that, it will open up, and at this point, you need to invite the entrepreneur. So if this is coming from so this will definitely be coming from the diaspora side, from the donor side. So the first thing is you'll be asked to invite the entrepreneur. They will receive an email on their side. They will accept the email, create their account, and also log in. Okay, so both of you will have access to this page, to this project information. But then now the difference comes into the details of it. So on my side, if I was on my side of the project, then I would only be seeing here where I would put in my profile information as the donor. Okay, again, straightforward, you just put in your details. And you would have agreed on how much funding for the project you want. So as mentioned, you have a minimum of 125 euros, maximum of 1,250 euros. Okay, yeah. So you would have previously agreed with the entrepreneur on exactly how much money you would want to get from WIDU or how much your project requires. So you know how much you would put in, okay? Then on the entrepreneur side, this is where there's a bit more detail. So the first part is still profile information, about you, nationality, number, profile photo, all that, very standard information. And then you talk about your business. So this is where you're describing what your business will be about. You put in photos, they want photos. It could be, for example, here, what my mom did is we had a consultant who gave us a draw up of what the pigsty would look like. So you could have that. You could have pictures from somebody else's project of what your project would look like. Okay. And then you come to the business sector, the business location, the description of your business. Okay, all of this is, some of them will actually have choices. So you don't have to pick like the sector yourself. You don't have to figure it out. There'll be a drop-down list where you can choose, okay? Then the business description, and which is exactly what your business is going to do in the end. And then the geolocation of your business, this is where it becomes a bit complicated for some people, but the point is you need to basically go onto your Google Maps on your phone or on your laptop and figure out the exact longitude and latitude of your current location, where your business is. And this is because back home, we don't have roads and, like house numbers and everything. So when a coach is brought or is trying to find you, he cannot follow a road ama just, directions of, this road, alafu kuna landmark and nyumba yellow na nini, no. Pardon? Sorry?
I just said, ukifika pale kwa soko uliza kwa kina.
Exactly. So the geolocation allows him to find you using Google Maps or GPS or whichever. Yeah. So this is why this is necessary. And then name of your business, what you want to do. So it's either that you have an already running business, which, as mentioned, for the Corona business grant is a requirement. It needs to have been running for at least a year. You're starting a new business like this one. Okay. What is the place like where your business is located? Again, here, there'll be choices. So there's rural, there's, I think, metropolitan or whatever it is. If it's a city area, you'll just pick from the drop-down list that is there. Okay. Then business indicators. So WIDU, one of the main reasons why this has been brought about is in order to create employment, but also specifically employment for women. So they will ask you average monthly income expected, monthly income, how many, if you have employees, sorry, number of employees, the number of female employees, okay? So currently, yeah. And then the project, what you're going to do with WIDU, okay? So here you have the project name, project description. So as mentioned, my mom started a pig farm. So it is easier, it's always easier to put it down in point form instead of trying to formulate a whole paragraph of things. So you will be buying vegetables and cereals from locals to make feed, use of vet services, purchase of vitamins and medicines from agrovets, opening up the farm to the youth for training. And of course, this is a grant. This is somebody who is funding a project, and they're also trying to uplift the community around you. So you need to look into those factors as well, the social factors as well as just the benefits for yourself as an entrepreneur. Okay. Planned project duration, how long you intend to, okay, so this is specifically the WIDU project. So how long will that project last? From the time you start spending your money, yours and the entrepreneur's money, up to when you will finish spending the WIDU grant money. So that period of time, not the complete business time, because some people were saying that there's, it's never ending, it's supposed to be just a project time that you'll be working with WIDU, okay?
Yeah.
Job creation, how many jobs you intend to create, how many jobs for women, agreement of publishing your WIDU project, the objectives of the business, again, point form, to rear pigs, R-E-A-R, sorry, sell live pigs to slaughterhouses, sell live mature pigs to other farmers, sell piglets to other farmers. Point form is always easier. It's always
yeah.
Okay. And then, so the investment plan is where it sometimes gets a little bit tricky, but basically, this is where you need to break down how you will spend the money from the donor, from the entrepreneur, and the WIDU grant. So the whole WIDU project happens in 3 steps. The first step is the proposal. The second step is when you spend the donor's money, the person in Diaspora who has sent you money, and your money as well. So that's the first step of it. And then you prove that you spent that money as you had written in this investment plan. Once that is proven and the coach has come and verified that, then WIDU will send you the grant money, which you as well need to spend according to the investment plan that you've written up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important for you as an entrepreneur, and of course, as a donor, if you're helping them out, to understand what the business is exactly about. So that when you're writing this, it needs to be detailed. So you cannot just come and write that you want construction material that will cost you 100K. What construction material? So here, for example, we have wood for the structure, water pump specifically, transportation of the source to the bore site, okay? Source and bore to the site. So I've had many cases of where people have written just material, generally material. And you need to be specific about that, because the WIDU will come back and say that there's an error and you're not sure what the error is. Most of the time, it's just that you need to put more detail into what you're writing. They need to, from this project proposal, from your business aspect, from the proposal, from your investment plan, understand exactly what the business is about, because from this is where they will decide whether or not they want to fund you. So they need to understand it clearly, okay?
Yeah.
And then, so as you're doing that, of course, there's this logo here that shows yours, so the donors and the entrepreneur's money. So if you're taking the full amount, the 1250, for example, it means that your investment and the entrepreneur's investment will be 2,500 euros in total. Okay, so this will signify what you invest in, and this will be what you spend the WIDU grant on. This is the WIDU logo. Mm-hmm. And at the bottom here, it will guide you as you put in your investment plan. You will see own investment is 205 of, sorry, okay, so 2,414.98 euro of a total of 2,400 euros. Okay, so it should be as close as possible to what you're asking for. Okay, same thing with the invested grant. This is now the WIDU grant money. So as you're typing, it will also let you know how much you have spent so far. And sometimes the error is also in this point. If you put in way too much money than they're actually, or than they're going to give you, then they'll say it's an error, you've gone beyond the amount. Mm. So that is normally the most confusing part of the first part of the project proposal. Once that is done, you submit it. WIDU will go through it. If they accept it, then a coach will be sent to your location to confirm, of course, that you are in that location, that everything that you've said is true, that the entrepreneur understands the business that they're about to start. And if possible, because they've mentioned that they send you a coach who is somewhat conversant with the business that you want to start. So he might also give you some advice on people around or how best to do it and such things. So the coach is there to help you out. Okay.
Okay.
Once your project has been accepted and the coach has come and seen the place, then the next step is for you. So now from the diaspora donor side, it will be for you to, okay, the profile should be basically the same thing. You need to confirm your identification. So there's an application. When I was applying, I used ID Now. I've been told that there's a new company that they're working with for the identification process. But this is an online system. You download an app. I'm not sure if it's still an app either. Is it still an app that they use, or is there something else? What did you call? Okay.
I know you can mute yourself. Yeah, thank you.
I think it's something two-factor.
Two-factor authentication? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's similar to, I think they described it, it's similar when you open a bank account and you have to verify yourself.
Okay.
Like you build up your ID or something.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, so basically this person that you see there will confirm that you have valid documents as a person in the diaspora, so that the residence permit from the place that you're in and that it is valid. Okay. Yeah. And then you can make your money transfer to the entrepreneur. So either a bank transfer or by whichever other means that we have, TransferWise or whatever. But you can also, if you have an account back home or an M-Pesa account back home, you can also just transfer that amount to the entrepreneur from your Kenyan account, if you can avoid all the costs and expenses that come from transferring from abroad. Yeah. That is allowed as long as it comes from you to the entrepreneur. So your official names need to be there to make sure of that. Okay. So that's it on the donor side in the second step. Then, so it's the same thing, the profile. Money transfer here is confirmation by the entrepreneur that they received the money. Okay. And then now it's the spending of the money. So as I mentioned, the second step is when the entrepreneur spends the donor's money and their money. So the sum of it. And this is where now you confirm that you spent it as you mentioned in your initial investment plan. How? You put in the details of what you bought and upload a receipt to that effect. So the receipt, of course, should align with what you've written. You don't have to put in every single detail there, but it needs to coincide, like explain a little bit, okay? There are many cases, of course, where you might not get an actual receipt. Yeah. In that case, you need to have something written. Or you can also take a screenshot of an M-Pesa transfer. That also works, because that is also proof of payment. But you can also have it written down on a paper the details, exactly what you've paid, with the date of the day that you paid, the name of the person that you bought from the seller, as well as your own name that you're the one who received it, signature. And in this particular case, they also asked for the ID of the person that was selling. But I think this might have been a different case because this was the consultant, the person that was helping with the construction. But ideally, you just need to have the details of the payment, the name, signature, date of the person that is selling you that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then in case there have been changes in the investment plan, whether you bought something different or the price changed from what you had planned or whatever it is, you put those details into there. They actually give a provision for you to explain why the prices might have varied from what you wanted, from what you had initially put in. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the second step. And then status update is basically just information that you put in. So outcome of the investment, positive and negative effects of the investment. If you've already received coaching at that time we had not seen a coach yet.
Mm-hmm.
And if yes, if you have your business skills improved with the coaching? Our business skills improved without the coaching, but yes, because it was a new business. So yeah, so that is the second step. Once this has been verified,
oh my God,
your receipts are verified, the coach comes back to confirm that you spent the money as you said. Because if you do not spend your money as you had said, then how can they trust you with theirs? Right? And also to ensure, because they will not fund cases or projects where there might be a hint of fraud, like fraudulent projects or such things. Mm-hmm. So at this case, if you do not follow your investment plan or cannot explain if there are any changes or whatever, if you don't follow it as you had said, WIDU has the right to refuse to give you the grant.
Yeah.
Okay. And then comes the last part. So once all of that is verified, then you're told, congratulations, you will receive your WIDU grant. And it is basically you spending that WIDU grant. As you said in the investment plan. Of course, here, if they sent you the money, then it's done. But still, you still need to confirm that you spent it as it was, and you'll put in those details again. So the receipts, the payment information, the receipts that you uploaded previously, and how you spent the WIDU grant money. After that, they verify and they tell you, and send you an email, of course, that your project is complete. Congratulations, and it is marked as complete. So this one is still in review. So it is marked as complete. After that, as the donor, as the entrepreneur, you are allowed to start a second project. So WIDU allows the diaspora donor 3 chances for an original WIDU grant, the one where you invest and the entrepreneur invests. So 3 chances. And as a donor, you can have 3 different projects running concurrently for the original grant. However, for the entrepreneur back home, they believe that the entrepreneur must concentrate on the project that they're doing. So for an entrepreneur, you can only work on 1 project at a time. So if you intend to work with the same entrepreneur for all 3 original grants, you need to successfully complete each project. So the first one needs to be done and completed, then the second one done and completed, then the third one, if you want to work with the same entrepreneur. And an entrepreneur has 3 chances, of course, as well, to work with WIDU, yeah, or to receive the grant from WIDU. The donor also has only 1 chance for a Corona business grant, as well as the entrepreneur. Actually, only have 1, but 3 original grants. Yeah. I think that's it.
Okay.
For communication. So during the project, of course, you might have questions about the project, what's going on and all that. For the person in the diaspora, the email address to contact is diaspora@widu.africa. They should respond within a day, 2 days at most, of course, working days, not over the weekend, working days. Same thing, Kenya@widu.africa. I use this a lot, and usually they respond at most within 2 days. Yeah. The one place that might take long, at least for the donors, is the identification verification part. That one sometimes has a few delays of up to a week maybe, but it shouldn't take too long. If it does, you are welcome to contact diaspora@widu.africa to ask them, is there something wrong with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes, I believe that is all I have. Q&A. Mom, if you have something to add as the entrepreneur who went through the process, have anything to say? You're muted.
Let me unmute. I've unmuted her.
Mute. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
please, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I'm saying apart from being very happy and being very grateful, I think it's important for the entrepreneur to be a little bit patient, because sometimes there's a lot of back and forth, you know, correcting information, sending this, resending this, correcting that. But eventually it doesn't take very long. It's just a maximum of a month for everything. Yeah, but it's worth it. It's worth it. So actually doing the second one.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'd encourage everybody to help these people back home, because I think the chance is there. And what do you have to lose?
Right. You have heard it from an entrepreneur who has benefited. So it's an opportunity to help people back home, to help them become self-sustainable, so that you don't have to be sending particular siku, you know, small expenses. That's a plus, but also to just give somebody at home the opportunity to start a business that they've wanted to. Yeah. Okay.
Caro, do we have some questions? Are you still on, Caro? Andikwa jikoni. Unmute yourself, dear.
Yes, I'm still here. There are some questions in the chat function that have been dropped.
Yeah.
Betty Mudov has a question, and Namu Yigas also has a question. Can you see the questions, Clara?
Yes, I'm checking. Okay, but Munda first on Facebook, is the money paid from the investor prior to the acceptance of the application? No, you are advised by WIDU to wait until the project has been accepted, the coach has come and seen the place, and then in the second step is when you make the transfer. So after the first step is complete and confirmed, then you can transfer the money for the money to start being spent by the entrepreneur. Okay. Is there any refund of the prepaid money if the application is rejected? So in this case, you are helping somebody back home, a friend or a family member. And WIDU encourages that the person that you're helping or that you're funding, you know this person. So they cannot come back and say, okay, now you as an entrepreneur, you need to refund the donor's money. No, you initiated it. So if anything goes wrong, if there's any case, any fraud or anything, then unfortunately that will not be refunded by WIDU. Okay, if the project isn't successful, what happens? If it's not successful, then the money is lost. I'm assuming you're saying in the second step, Vicky? So as mentioned,
Unmute yourself.
Clara, do they ask for a refund in case, okay, in case like the project isn't successful, will they ask for their money back or something like that? Or
No.
we all lose out?
No, this is grant money. So they've given it, you need to spend it as best as you can and make your business viable. So they will not ask for a refund.
Okay.
And they've actually been cases previously where a business failed and they reapplied, for a grant again, and they were accepted. So
that's interesting.
If you can prove that it's not because of anything, like it's not your fault that the business did not progress, then yes, you're still viable for a second grant.
I can see Carol has raised up her hand. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, no, maybe we could first answer the questions in the comment section, because I can see many more questions are coming in.
Yes.
But maybe Clara, before maybe you go there, one of the questions I've seen many people asking is, what are some of the things that make we do not grant or give you the grant? Like which error should people avoid when they are applying? One of the question. And the other question is, sometimes it takes very long for WIDU to communicate. So maybe you could also mention on that, like how long, what is the communication time frame, or what should I do if they don't respond to my emails? Because I've had several cases where they wrote an email and people had to wait for weeks. But I know the workload is a lot, especially because of Cameroon. But maybe you could answer those two questions. Then you go to the comment section. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. On the communication part, no, honestly, they should reply to you as soon as they can. This is normally, they have a number of people that help with the question part or respond to emails. So that one should happen as fast as possible. If it delays, just write a second email. For that one, I'm really not sure how to help Jackie. Yeah.
For that one, I'm sure how they do help, because they're really fast in responding. There's always like somebody like 24/7, not 24/7, the working hours. There's always somebody who will respond to you. And even if you realize that the email address, that the project you've given in is not what you wanted, you can go back and tell them, please, I don't want this project. Can I erase it from my profile? They also do that. It has ever happened to me, and that's what they did. They're always ready to help. Just write a mail. With mails, they respond like lightning. Yeah.
Okay. And then you had mentioned what was this, the first question that you asked? Why would they reject your project? When you're applying for the project, make sure it's a viable business proposal. I really don't know I haven't seen a situation where they would outrightly reject your project if it's the original business grant. For the Corona business grant, this is where they've changed the regulations slightly. So as I mentioned previously, it was for any business that has been affected by Corona. Now they've changed it to businesses that are helping with the response to Corona, something innovative, something creative. So to be honest, they haven't exactly, they don't have specific businesses that they will tell you that they will fund for Corona. You need to be creative, you need to be innovative in this sense. It's normally just trial and error. And they say that if it does not, if they do not accept it for the Corona business grant, they do encourage you to apply for an original WIDU grant, because it might not meet the requirements for the CBG, Corona Business Grant, but it's still a viable business option. So try with the original grant.
Now that you're still on that topic, would you kindly give us examples of what they're accepting right now for the Corona Business Grant? Just name a few examples, because that's where most guys are like tied and they don't know, okay, do I have this money? How can I get this money? It's just because before it used to be like eateries were affected by Corona, so you could apply for that money directly. And nowadays, it is not only eateries, it is like you have to pimp up your eatery application so that you can get that money. Can you just give us examples of Corona grant plan?
Okay, so I asked about examples for the Corona Business Grants. There were none at that time for Kenya specifically, but there was an example of a company that produced, that manufactures solar panels. I think this was in Ghana.
Yeah, it was.
And what they came up with was solar powered refrigerators to store the Corona vaccine. So something Corona related towards the response of Corona. You're helping in the fight against Corona in some way. There was a second one where it must have been in Togo, where this was when the borders were closed. So there was no distribution of grains and foods at that time. So this person got the Corona grant to buy grains and foods in bulk from a neighboring country, and then distribute them to individuals following the Corona regulations of the country at that time.
Yeah, okay.
So I think in this case, there are no specific examples, but if you can try to find a certain twist to it. So your business has been in existence for over a year, at least a year. Can you do something towards helping with this fight against Corona? Think of it in that way. Okay, that's for the Corona Business Grant. Now, there are also some projects that are accepted in some countries and rejected in others. So for example, I was told that masks, making of masks, right now in Togo, this would be accepted because they do not have enough masks. But in Kenya, they would not accept a project for making masks because we have enough masks.
Really?
Okay. Yes, that is what I was informed of. So we have enough people that are making masks. We have enough, whichever way it is. So they would not accept masks. A business that is making masks, of the kind in Kenya. But if you find a certain twist to it, a second filter, something for the masks. Somebody mentioned masks for children, something different to it, then it might be considered. Okay. If I can just go back to the comments.
Carol has the questions.
Vicky asked, when will WIDU come to Uganda? I don't know. But you can always help a Kenyan if you want, Vicky. We are here.
No, Clara,
No.
I can invest in Kenya when I'm not a Kenyan. That's okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You can. So okay. You can invest or you can help an entrepreneur within the countries, even if you're not from there. It is not announced. Yeah, so it's not announced, but it is possible. Okay. So right now they encourage the diasporans from those countries to help their fellow countrymen. But it is possible for those from other countries to also assist. Okay. Will they give you a grant if your project exceeds the 2,500 euros, e.g. the project is about 600,000? When you're filling in the project proposal and everything, it doesn't matter if your project is worth more. Whatever you write within the project proposal should fit within the WIDU range. So it is between 250 to 2,500 euros. Whether you can make more, that doesn't matter. They will only give you up to 2,500 euros. Okay, there's a question from Priscilla. So the entrepreneur is going to get the 2,500 euros grant if only the donor plus entrepreneur gives a total maximum of 2,500. Yes. What if as a donor nikipeana 500 euros plus 500 euros entrepreneur, will I also get the 2,500 WIDU grant? What if as a donor nikipeana 500 plus 500 entrepreneur?
You get a total of 1,000 from WIDU grant now.
Yes. They only give you the sum of yours and the entrepreneur's investment. Yeah, I hope that's clear.
Ladies, there is maybe, let me just say something. The last time there was a question that was asked, it was something very easy. Somebody's asking, how do I manage it when somebody at home, wacha tuzungumze Kiswahili, hana chapa, huh? So the thing is, please, kuna vile kunaenda, si ni wa Kenya, mtumie pesa kwanza, hiyo pesa ndio aonyeshe ni yake. Unaona? Tuseme unataka kusaidia dada yako, nitazungumza kwa Kiswahili. Victoria, pole later. So unajua hii chapa inataka kusaidia watu wa kwenu. So please, na unajua huyo mtu natumia pesa hana chapa. So hii project yote it's you financing. Mweke kama hiyo project yote ni 1000 euros, mtumie kwanza 500 euros, akaange nayo. Alafu sasa wewe yako ye ataonyeshana ile umemtumia ya kwanza yenye haukuonyesha. Sasa hii ya pili yenye utamtumia at least ndiye ataonyesha, alafu yeye pia aonyeshane ile yake. So isikuwe ati aonyeshane hizo. Tumieni ka ujanja kidogo. Hizi pesa ziko. Bwana mtumie. Sorry. Okay, Clara, pole.
Okay. Back to the questions in the chat. But that is true. It's actually, I don't think it's frowned upon exactly by WIDU, but that is done. You can send money to the entrepreneur so that he has money, and then you can also, you need to be able to prove that you have transferred your own amount. Yeah. So some other way of doing that, if you're actually sending money from the diaspora, tuma pesa yote, like the whole 2,500, if you're taking the full amount, transfer it all to your Kenyan account, ama to your M-Pesa ama nini, transfer the half of it to the entrepreneur. So just in case they need to show, they can show. And then you will now send your 1250 and they can prove that you sent your 1250 yako. Yeah?
Yeah.
So as Jackie has said, kuna ujanja and the money is there. So just find ways. Yeah? Okay. Do you fund continuing businesses? Yes. For the Corona Business Grant, it needs to be a business that has been in existence for at least a year. So there are times when it's difficult to actually prove that a business has been in existence. This is where some receipts, if you have, would help. Also, if it's not possible, then this is where the coach comes in and he or she can ask around Kuliza, has this person really been here for over a year? Yeah. So they will try to assist, but also try to find ways to also prove something that you've bought as a business, something that you've done, some way to prove that you have been there. Okay. Does WIDU only fund women? No. They fund everybody. For the Corona WIDU grant, do I, as a diaspora, also need to contribute as in the 25%? No. For the WIDU grant, for the Corona WIDU grant, all that you need to do is invite the entrepreneur, and then the entrepreneur will break down their business idea and the investment plan for the WIDU grant. So even the entrepreneur doesn't need to invest anything. So once the proposal has been accepted, in this case, the investment plan is only for the WIDU grant. When I showed you the logo for the entrepreneur and the donor and the one for WIDU, it's only how you spend the WIDU grant. So once that is accepted, then you immediately receive the WIDU grant. It only has 2 steps in this case. And then of course you need to prove that you've spent the money accordingly. Yeah. Betty Mundo from Facebook, can you start off with the Corona Fund and or apply parallelly for both grants? As the donor, as a person in the diaspora, yes, you can have projects running concurrently. But for the entrepreneur can only work on one project at a time. So if it's a Corona Business Grant project, anafanya hiyo iishe and it's confirmed by the coach, then they can start a second one. Please elaborate more on the investment plan. You will have to ask me an exact question, Hilda. But you can come back to that. Betty, can you start off with the Corona grant? Maybe apply all parallel. Is that possible? It is with different entrepreneurs, as mentioned. Does WIDU support social entrepreneurs who seek to create positive change in society through their initiatives as opposed to maximizing profits? If you have a project proposal, whether it's a social, so it doesn't have to be a farming project. We have somebody who is starting something with, we had a person who was making clothes, I believe, just a fundi, who had, Mom, just as a quick question, you had spoken to a coach and he mentioned some projects. Were there any non-farming projects? You're on mute again, sorry.
Where is she? Let me unmute her.
This way, Mom, you're muted.
I've unmuted.
Sorry, there are some comedians, I think, who take part in, or rather entertain people during parties and especially this, say, pre-wedding parties and such. Just a social thing, you know, comedians. And then there was even somebody who is doing mali, you know, clothes for utensils and that kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that's what I remember. Yeah. So it's any viable business. You know, in Kenya, there's a business for everything. So just be creative.
Utapata.
Betimundo, for Corona grant, what is the maximum amount? It's still 2,500 euros for the Corona grant. Can the investors at home do some container shops which are already running but built by wood and endanger the people's goods in shops, etc.? If it's a viable business proposal, Betty, if it is a viable business proposal and the project part that you're applying for is within the range, 250 to 2,500 euros. Jaribu, I don't really understand what you've explained here, but if you feel that it is a viable business project, just try. Yeah. As mentioned, the donor gets 3 chances, the entrepreneur as well. I'll have to confirm, but I don't think that once it has been rejected, then that is like your one chance nomination. I will confirm that. I don't know if maybe Eva can confirm that
Eva just left. She had some few things to do. Okay. I think Kimberly who is picking up questions from YouTube. Kimberly, are you here? Kim?
Okay. Yeah. I'm picking up the questions.
Okay.
Make lights on.
So I will confirm if a project is rejected, does that take away your chance for for a grant? I will confirm that. Okay. Thank you. Does WIDU support Fair Iron also? Jackie, do you know?
No, they don't.
Okay.
There's something that WIDU doesn't support, and that was like guys were asking, because WIDU is trying to create jobs. That is exactly what Catherine explained last time. They want to create some small jobs, but then if it's a matter of having an organization that, let's say, children's home or all people's whatever, helping kind of NGOs, WIDU doesn't support that at all, because they want you to make profit and to continue making some profit and creating jobs. But you come with a project like feeding of street children or feeding of orphanage, they won't support that. That's not part of their project. Okay. Yeah, it has to be like before you could say, okay, I'm cooking, nile kujipanga. Unaweza ukasema nilikuwa napika. That was before, because now at the moment, just like Laura has said, things have changed, because before you could have come with an eatery and said, okay, my eatery has been providing in this form. So I was getting money by bringing food there, and so that could have been a Corona fund, and that was before. So easy, you have to pimp up your feeding program. Things have completely changed. Ikue kitu ingine. but they don't support, they're not funding any organizations, like help organizations, they're not.
Okay, Mundorf, how does WIDU get proof of the money? When you send money to the entrepreneur has to upload the proof that they have received that money from you, and you also have to upload proof that you have sent money to the entrepreneur, whether ni M-Pesa, bank transfer, nini, but that the money went from you to the entrepreneur.
That is something that Kenya is in a plus, because we have M-Pesa. M-Pesa is really, really helping us. Other countries don't have M-Pesa. You can imagine what kind of problems or troubles they're going through. So with M-Pesa, we have a plus, Betty.
Yeah, and for spending the money, the coach will come to see if what you stated in your receipts and he will come or she will come and confirm that that stuff is actually there. That's why the coach comes, not only to confirm, but also to assist you as an entrepreneur. But number one is to make sure that there's no fraud happening. Yeah. Can I reapply a rejected Corona grant? I believe so. You should be able to. Yeah. Are you able to share the webinar recording, Jackie? I don't see any more questions.
Kimberly, can you please check on Zoom before we pick up questions from the chat, from the
Facebook?
Check on Facebook. Do you have questions on Facebook, Kim?
Yep, there is one that just came in. What are the qualifications on Paris Wanboi Jenga?
The qualifications. Okay. The qualifications are that for a donor, you are a diaspora here, you live in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, or France. That is where it is available for the moment. Above 18 years, you would like to transfer money to a family member or friend, and you want to support somebody in the business. In addition, by the way, just so I can add on, there was the question of if, as a diasporan, so you've moved to Germany or the other countries and you've gotten married to a German, are your children allowed to also apply for the Corona grants or for the WIDU grants? Yes, they are, as long as, of course, they're above 18. So they're still counted, they're still allowed to, because they fall into the category of, so WIDU is advertised as for diasporans, from diasporans for their countrymen, right? But it can be applied for by anybody, right? But in this case, they fall into the category of, yes, they're Kenyan diasporans, but they're also German, so they're allowed to. It's a bit of a gray area, but they're allowed to. Okay. Yes. Caro, you had your hand up first. Sorry.
Yeah, yes, I have, yeah, maybe Clara, one of the also common question I've come along is about reviewing people's investments plans, because you know some people are just used to doing biashara without this complicated, I don't know, investment plan. Unatuma pesa, biashara inafanywa, and then that's it. Yeah, maybe we can organize for a session where we maybe give examples of how an investment plan should look like. I don't know, it's just from what I've had in the past. Or you could maybe do one-on-one sessions and review people's investment plans. I don't know if this is now part of what WIDU is covering. Just an idea before I leave the Zoom session, because I have to go now.
Okay, for the investment plans, of course, one-on-one sessions are possible if you have specific questions for investment plan, but really the one trick for the investment plan is to just be detailed. Put in as much detail into how much money you will spend. That is what we do, so that they can visualize what you're going to buy and how it's going to look. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sawa sawa. Thank you so much. I need to jump into the next train.
Thank you very much,
we'll be in touch.
Thank you. And I know that you'll be helping most of us out here, or most of our KWIG sisters, Thank you.
We are a team. Sawa. Nice weekend and talk
You
soon.
too. See you soon.
Bye. I'll see you tomorrow. Yes, see you
Yeah,
tomorrow.
tomorrow you're having a Zoom at this time. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow at the career Zoom.
Okay, bye, bye. Let me just drop a link of where you can find other WIDU events in case you would like to attend another event. Let me just drop a link in the comment section.
Yes, do that.
And then you can check there just in case you would like to attend or you'd like to invite someone. But we'll be communicating with Clara and then we will coordinate a few so that we can all benefit from this.
No problem. Definitely.
Do that.
Okay. Maureen, your hand is up.
Yeah, I do have a question.
Mhm.
So do you have a given time frame? Like, do you have to like write in your proposal the time frame that you need for the project?
Yes, yes. There's a part where you have to put in the project, the duration, project duration.
Okay.
Oh, what happened?
You muted everybody. Sorry, Maureen.
I'm sorry. There was
Just
a
unmute yourself.
Please, Maureen, unmute yourself because there was a baby in the background, and that was Carol. Who was next to Maureen. I'm sorry.
No problem. So I was asking, I don't know if you had my question. What if you don't like make it to keep this time frame? What happens?
That's not a problem because of course things happen. So as long as you're able to update your project accordingly. So the first step is a proposal. The second part is how you spend the money. So WIDU is not necessarily concerned about how long you take to spend that money. As long as once you've completed it and you want the grant, everything adds up.
Okay.
And of course, as mentioned, you will also have a place, a provision to write anything like why the cost is not as you had mentioned and all that. So that's not an issue.
Okay, but from their side, they don't have any given time frame to say that each project should take this and this long. There's nothing like that.
No, but of course, I mean, it shouldn't take too long based on what the project is. Because farming can be a couple of months. If it's construction, there might be that, some time. But based on what your project requirements are, they will know from there. Okay. So of course, if there's some delays and you're concerned, always just write to either diaspora@widu.africa or write to Kenya@widu.africa, just to let them know or to ask any questions, any concerns. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I think before we started the session, there was somebody who signed in from Kenya and wanted to say something. Baraka Juma, was that you?
It was Isaac Angote.
Or was it Isaac Angote?
Is he still here?
He had signed out and I brought him back.
Oh, okay.
Just a moment.
I don't think he's back. He tried logging in.
I accepted him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. For the moment.
May you mute your background? Okay, sawa, asante.
Galaxy A40. Panaswali. Is it Galaxy A14? Ayuko?
David, did you want to ask a question? What a mute.
Galaxy A40. Just unmute yourself. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, you can hear me. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I thank God so much for this opportunity and for this forum. It's really a way forward. Yeah, at least it brings us closer, and we thank God for everything. So I have a question. The question goes direct to, supposing I have somebody unfortunate, the person is disabled, and I would like her to support herself. She's under a care of somebody. She can't do anything on her own. Is it also possible for me to start such a project for her? For example, the tuk-tuk business. That's what I had in mind. Is it possible too? If she personally, she cannot drive, but someone else, supposing like the caretaker, can do it for her. Is it allowed also?
I believe it would be, because in this case, first of all, you would have helped her, you'd have created a job for the caretaker in addition to being a caretaker. But yes, that should be viable, yes.
Oh, thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you. I will get back to you later.
No problem. Yes,
We
you
still
can.
have some 6 minutes before we close the session.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Clara. I think that was quite helpful. I'm part of the team that Isaac was talking about before he left.
Okay.
And I think we have our team leader here. And our team leader is Barbara. I think she can talk on behalf of the team, and then just to let you guys know what we're doing and how we got to attend this session today.
Okay.
Hi guys. Sorry, it's the weekend and my kids are playing in the background. 2 kids, quite noisy. I hope you can hear me. That's why I've been trying to really lean in and listen. Well, it's a team of some young leaders from Mombasa, and we were invited by our senior, a man we truly respect, Clara's dad. Oh, Hongera, Clara, and everybody else. We amongst ourselves, the people who are interested in entrepreneurship, and from the beginning of your presentation, it was very clear, like the first challenge that you highlighted about diaspora and people back at home is so real, and this is an amazing opportunity. I happen to have women very close to me, mothers, aunts, sisters in Germany, and I appreciate the remittances they make to us. However, like you're saying, sometimes it's actually just more of handouts, which doesn't really get us anywhere, because like you kind of receive it every month, every end of the month, but it doesn't really help. I'm so glad that this has come through. Of course, like probably I had an idea also in my mind, a business which I'm sure, once I've already refined it, I would reach out to yourself, or I mean AG Career Hub, who just left a link, which I'm sure I'll be looking at. I'm so grateful for this, just to be able to see, the first thing you put up there was that unfinished house, and it's so real. And I don't know why it's happened mostly to, and I tend to think women, like the women in the diaspora, are the ones who really have this kind of problems, because they're always so selfless. They work so hard for their money, but for some reason, we on the other side have got this beggar's ball. Hey, please, nyamazeni tafadhali. Mommy's sorry. So like we've got like this beggar's ball that just doesn't get full. And I love the idea that I, as a resident here in Kenya, I put in something, you put in something, then they put in something as well. So I kind of own that thing. I'll be reaching out for more clarity, but I know we also have Patrick, who is I don't know if he's still around, but he's really an entrepreneur as well in his own rights. So maybe Patrick, if you'd also want to say something. Otherwise, thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to engaging some more and asking my probably more personal questions and more of what I can possibly do to benefit from that. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Barbara. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. Patrick Mavula, is it you?
Yes, it is. I think Barbara said everything, but on my side, in my own entrepreneurship spirit, I came in a little bit late and I'm feeling very, very bad about it. I haven't understood the definition of who the donor is, who the entrepreneur is, or it's the normal interpretation. And then when I'm putting in the money, is the other person in Germany putting in their money? And then this other grant, where is it coming from? I still haven't connected so well, which is what and what is which. Okay. And then there's someone who was very open to say, sometimes you might want to put in your ujanja for you to get this grant. I have a friend who's in German, who's studying in German. Is it possible that if I have some amount of money here. Can I send her so that she becomes my donor? That is the definition of a donor.
Yes.
Let's say I have 100,000. I have 200,000. I send 100,000. Then I can start over my business here with 100,000.
I have just a quick I'll just throw this in. If it's possible that you don't have to send it all the way back here. If he or she has an M-Pesa account or a bank account in Kenya, tuma tu kwake, they're in Kenya. So you don't have to incur all those costs za kutuma na kuregesha. That's also possible.
No, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
But thanks a lot for this. It's really enlightening. I appreciate it.
No problem, no problem.
And it's your dad who helped us today. So much respect for that.
I will tell him that umesema.
I think Clara and Christine and Clara. No, yes. Christine is mom, and Kenyan women in Germany. I think I'm one of the people who really wanted to hear this because, like I mentioned to you, I've got 4 sisters out there. And trust me, like sometimes I look at my bank accounts and it's really generous. The contributions are so generous, but what do I do with it? It just goes in, you know? And because and even if they sent me that money to put in a business, they have tried once, and probably because they're not here to monitor and it's a business of their own interest that they just want me to simamia, it doesn't really always go so well. So they go like, I've been sending money to Kenya. I'm not wanakula pesa yangu, and it gets frustrating for them. But I'm so glad that this whole thing is coming up, and so much. I'm really grateful. However, why I really jumped in is because there's one of our own as well called Baraka Juma. If he would like to say something.
And I'm also back here.
Yeah,
I dropped off the number.
Isaac, you can maybe continue.
Thank you so much for this platform. Actually, it's enlightening, it's informative, and economically, it's a good one. I would like to say I'm actually challenged. I don't know if Barbara talked about the group that you have and whatever you're trying to do, but personally, as an individual, now I need to dig deep and find out a small business so that I can also make some money anyway, or help other people outside here to get an income. But Clara and your team, I'm impressed. I'm impressed, and this is a good step going forward. And we need to bring more people on board so that Corona has really hit people hard, and economically people are really struggling. And with this platform, I think we can reach out to friends, neighbors, family, you see how we can help them. Yeah, some of us might be working and might be having jobs, but there are other people who are really struggling. So I think it's a platform. If we can really help them generate some of these proposals and see if they can manage to get these grants, I think it will be something very good. So I just want to say thank you, and we'll keep in touch now that we've started this platform. I think it's not the last one. I think you expect more of certain engagements, and it's an eye opener. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Isaac.
Clara, can I just say something? Okay, well, Kenya, yes. It's a Kenyan proverb. Can I say something small?
Yes, please.
Well, I think once I got into the live session and I was getting the gist of it, I got too much interested in the entrepreneurial bit that I forgot to tell you the reason why the entire team that has been mentioned, Baraka, Patrick, Basil, Muga, and myself and Isaac Angote are here. So we are a part of the leadership of a youth mentoring program that's called, it's dubbed GYLP, Governors Young Leaders Program, because we all happen to work at the governor's office in Mombasa County. So we are a team of young people, middle-level managers who are who've got so much potential. It's a group, it's a 25-member group of brilliant minds who've got so much potential to take up bigger roles. So this is a program, actually, our program coordinator is Mr. Job Tumbo. I don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hakusema.
So he's our program coordinator. So we basically he's helping us sharpen our leadership skills and most importantly our communication skills. So he just thought that probably while listening into this session, we should be able to get a thing or two that we can do away from formal employment or support people who are not formally employed as we are, just like Isaac said. And so the team basically is like we are mentored and coached by other people, basically standing on the shoulders of giants to be able to learn better skills, just to be able to take up the roles like that are ahead of us within our organization and out of our organization, and beyond.
That's really good. That's very interesting to hear. I will find out from Mr. Joab Tumbo, the Honorable, exactly what this is about.
Thank you.
Hajaisema, imagine. I will find out more from him. Imagine, eh? But that's very inspirational, actually. Very interesting. I will leave Jackie. I don't know if we should leave the KWIG email address or I give mine for questions.
You can leave the KWIG email address.
Okay.
In case any questions. And we have like 5 minutes.
So it's contact at KWIG.
Time. So I would say thanks very much for joining in from Nairobi, Mombasa, wherever, Kenya. So Patrick, Barbara, Isaac, Muga, you Isaac, Barbara, Patrick, and Mr. Muga, you have somebody who you can speak to, and Barak, yeah. You have somebody whom you can speak to, and that is Christine, because she has done this, she has done both the business and the Corona grant, and both were granted. So in case you've written your proposal and or the business plan, and you get a problem along the way, before you contact Clara, I think Christine is on the ground and she can check your stuff and help you as quick as possible to get through. She is the person. So what's Mheshimiwa? Hata pia na rely kwa Christine. And thanks a lot for joining us. Maybe Clara, you give us the last word before I close the session. Or is there any other question?
There was one question by Hilda. I don't know if she wants to ask it now or can we have a one-on-one session?
Hilda?
We can have a one-on-one session. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so in closing, I'd just like to say this, as so many of you have already mentioned, is a really good opportunity to help people back home, for people back home to reach out to their family and friends on this side so that they can get that little boost. We've been given a chance to, like put in something small and be assisted, especially during this Corona time. So let's take advantage of it. Just one more thing that we should know. I mentioned earlier on that Cameroon was in the project, but they reached their quota, meaning that they were able to create up to 2,000 jobs, maybe slightly more. I'm not sure of the exact number. Our numbers as Kenyans are very low at the moment. I think we have a little bit of, we have trust issues kadhaa here and there. So just so that you have heard me talk, I, as a donor, was able to help out my mom back home. She received the grant. She was able to complete a project. It happens. It works. It is true. You don't need to pay it back. And it really helps you, and I'm sure Mom could attest to this, you really learn, you're taught to keep your business records. You learn a little bit more about how to maintain your business, keeping records and all that. And if in any case, you just start something new, if nothing else. So take the opportunity, take the chance, help somebody, and yeah, take advantage of the opportunity.